All right, we're taking live and all.
We're live, we're live. All right.
Come on,
Alrighty then. So let me
live and well.
all right. So okay. Another episode of the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. So I'm your host, Camille Smith.
And I'm your co-host, your boy Dre. Another
Whoa.
Saturday, and we're alive, we're well, and we're in the house.
You know it. You know it.
It's visiting.
It's been a crazy week, especially since yesterday in Toronto. The lockdown is
Yeah.
open, I guess. I don't know. I honestly am still at my house. I have ish to do, so I'm just, but I just showed Dre like this crazy video of downtown Toronto.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like this lineup is huge. Holy. It was like a 10-mile lineup
Yeah, like
just to go into one store.
folks, it's really not worth it. It's really not. Like,
Yeah.
and then I heard the patios. Oh snap! There are so many stories that I see, like everyone on the patio and stuff. So I was like, all right, bet. But how has your week been, sir?
Yo, I mean, I can imagine people are probably just like so desperate to go out and have fun. I mean, after being locked up for so long, I can only imagine.
That is true. That is true. But
So what's popping for you this weekend? Like
honestly, I'm just staying in, and I have the things to finish up. So just life. I'm
true,
just trying to catch up on things, and I'm enjoying the weather outside though. Like, woo.
nice.
I was just doing some, grilling up some things. Actually, so I just started a challenge.
Oh, which challenge is that?
I'm gonna say it's a cleanse. I'm doing a cleanse of my body
Mhm.
to build up my immune system because I
Nice.
think that's the way to go. I'm doing mostly alkaline
All right.
foods.
Yeah, going good. Which
Yeah.
alkaline? The Jamaican artist? You do
No
the thing.
sir, no sir. No sir, no. Not him,
Alkaline in
not
the
him.
house.
Yeah. But no, I'm doing like no seafood, no
What?
chicken. I gotta no coffee, no
No cough.
coffee.
Oh my
Yo,
God. That sounds like a really hard challenge. It's definitely a challenge,
listen,
especially when you
I'm
mentioned no seafood and coffee.
right because you know me. You know me.
Right.
I need it. But
That is insane.
so far I've been doing well. Like I mean, stay tuned.
That's insane.
Stay tuned. I already want. I'm like, no, I want to do this. And it's hard when it's like, it's nice outside, so you kind of want to do a barbecue. So I
Yeah.
barbecued like asparagus, peppers, zucchini, and Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
If you saw how I was eating this, I was like, this is life. This is what it's gonna be. I can't even have some chicken with this.
No, no, no. I can't do that. I'm sorry. But I mean, good luck to you. You have my support. And, I will definitely eat seafood on your behalf and drink coffee. And I'll let you know when I'm doing so that you know that you
That's
don't
fair.
have to eat any or think about any at that time.
That's fair. That's fair. The coffee is gonna be hard. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna find a way that I can find an alkaline coffee. Funny enough, I found an alkaline vodka.
Alkaline vodka. Oh, how does that work?
I don't know. They imitated something so it would be able to be considered alkaline and stuff. So I'm like, I mean, if I really want to go down that route, then I'm gonna do it.
Oh,
Shoot.
all right. That don't
But
sound
no
bad.
judging.
That don't sound bad. I'm
But
just here,
yeah,
like trying to make some what do you call it now, some Saturday plans and whatnot, trying to figure out what to do.
what?
Um, I don't know. Yeah, but
It's kind of tricky,
um,
huh?
it is tricky. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna go with the flow as usual.
Exactly. That's all you could do, right? Go with the flow. Go with the flow. I might have to do that. It depends. I'm having a bad hair day, so as you can see, I
Yeah.
have the hat on. So don't worry. Next time, I'll be fresher than ever.
All right. All right. That sounds pretty
Let's
good.
see.
All right.
Um,
I mean, I just got a lineup, so I don't
I
know.
see what
Yeah.
fresh
I mean,
cut.
it's slightly different from how I usually do my haircut. As you can see, the
Mhm.
fade is only right at the front here.
Yes, 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 yes.
I guess it's good to try something different.
Woo, woo,
So what
child.
what we're gonna be talking about today? Like I know you gave me this really interesting topic, and I know I've been getting a lot of questions about that. So I'm glad we are actually talking about it.
Right? Because I was thinking about it a couple weeks, and it's funny because and this is not to dog anyone that has
Yeah.
purchased one as of late, because I know um some friends and family that want to
Right.
purchase a new car and stuff. And hey, do you? Do you?
Yep. That's
But
all I say.
it all depends, right? There's a pros and cons with getting a new car, or there's a pros and cons getting an old car. And I think it's a great discussion because there are many people that are, looking to purchase a car, or just purchase a car and hope that it was a great decision.
Right.
And I think it's only fair that we tell our experience first before we tell them what
Yeah,
Simma.
and before we actually go into the formality, I like the fact that you talk about us sharing our experience because I have experience going through the process. But I can tell you like so my first advice: don't go buy a car with your guy friends because they're gonna say yes to everything. And that was that was my mistake when I
That's
went
interesting.
to go search for my car. It was
Hmm.
me and my two friends, and
Yeah.
literally everything I said, they said yes. I like that car. You should just go for it. There was no thinking about anything.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
and when we walk in, the sales agent, this is my observation, is that the sales agent is really helpful when you walk in, right? So the moment you walk in, they're there to greet you. They offer you like free coffee and whatever you want.
Yeah.
So they're trying to sweet you up to seal the deal.
Finesse
Well,
you.
they at the time, like they were pushing for leasing over financing, right?
Mm,
And for me, I didn't know much about the difference between the two. So based on how they describe it to me, leasing
mm,
seemed more appealing because here I am, I'm young, in
mm.
my early 20s, and I hear that I can get the latest car every 4 years. I was like, what? Who would want that? That's it. Yo, that's crazy, eh? To get the latest
Mm-mm.
friggin' car every year. What more can you ask for?
You're like, red, come true. See? And that's what we
Exactly.
discussed before, right? In our previous episodes of flossing.
Exactly, right? I was
Yeah,
trying to keep up with the flosses.
yeah. This is what
So,
happened.
yeah, then I was like, you know what? I love the sound of that. And the monthly payment was lower, the
Hmm.
interest rate was lower. They
Okay.
had all these attractive stuff. I don't have to pay for a certain period.
Mm,
And yeah, so mostly I was getting all the information about the potential benefits, but I wasn't too familiar with what the potential costs are. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's go with leasing.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, and the agent was excited. The deal was sealed. Car got leased, and zim zimmer, just like you said, we drive out the parking lot with my brand new. And I'm like,
Wait,
damn.
wait, wait. What kind of car? What kind of car?
Yo, it was in 2014. It was a
Yeah.
2014 Honda Civic. So,
Oh, typical Jamaican.
the thing a fly
Honda
up like
Civic.
seven.
Oh, shucks. I swear that's like the most common car in
Yeah.
as Caribbean folks is is that or a Beamer.
Beamer,
The
yeah. We love a Beamer with Honda.
right? Or the
Mm-hmm.
Acura as well.
The Acura, yeah, there you
Um
go.
so how did you feel? So you felt nice.
Yo, that was the best feeling ever. Like, yo, like, when you drive out in a brand new car, I feel
Mhm.
a sense of accomplishment, I feel a sense of pride, and I'm like, when we touch the streets, like all the girls gonna be looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, man, I feel nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but here's the thing: what I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
is the restrictions that came with it until I started
Ah,
driving. So the agent
yes.
was so nice. She called me once after the car, after I bought the car, and then I
Mm-hmm.
never heard back from her again. And even when I called her, she never seemed to be as interested in me anymore when I had
Oh,
questions. So I'm like,
see?
okay, she get the seal now, so she's not busy about me again.
She's like, done.
But it wasn't until like I think it was like 2.5 years into the car, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to lease anymore
Mm-hmm.
because what I didn't know is that with the leasing, um, at the end of the 4 year period, I would still have a $10,000 value left on the car. So if I wanted to buy the car, I'd
Mm.
still need to clear that 10 grand, right? So and I would have already paid for the price of the car already based on the calculation. And when
Mm-hmm.
I went back into her, the sales agent, and I asked her, I say, hey, what if I want to finance? I want to switch from leasing to finance, and I
Yeah.
have a bank ready to finance the loan. You know
Mm-hmm.
what they told me? Well, because you're not yet at the end of the lease life, there's going to be negative equity. So that negative equity is going to be in addition to that 10 grand that I would have to pay. And I was like, what the hell?
That's
Negative equity? That didn't make any
insane.
sense. But yeah, there's
Mm-mm.
a thing when it comes to car that is called negative equity. That if
Yes.
you try to return the car before, if it's a lease, and you try to return the car before, you can be faced with negative equity. And I was like, damn, I didn't know that such a thing exists. And then the
Okay.
other thing is that I didn't know is that by
Mm-hmm.
the time I was ready to drive to the US, I by that time I was driving a lot. I
Yeah.
enjoyed going to the US. And I asked the salesperson, like, yo, I remember you telling me something about mileage. What if I want to drive to the States?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you have like a 20,000, I think it was 20,000 limit on the mileage.
I
And if I
believe so.
go
Yeah.
over, I have to like almost pay as you go kind of thing for the mileage. So pay per use. And I was like, what the hell? That shit is insane. I didn't know about all of that stuff. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
my experience is that personally, and then the other part of it too is
Mm-hmm.
that here I was, like leasing this car. I was essentially renting it.
Yes.
So I was paying all of this lease and I was just like renting it. So yeah, that's my experience. What
Mm-mm.
about you?
Mm-mm. Um, I find it interesting that you said don't go with your guy friends because as a female, I would go with my guy friends
Oh, okay.
because the salespeople will try to haggle you. But
Yeah.
so I kind of have two different experiences. The first time I got a car,
Yeah.
it was a hand me down from a friend. They're
Right.
like, yo, do you want this car? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Let me get this car. And it was like, what was it? It was like a '07 Volkswagen. I mean, it needed work, right?
Yeah.
And that's a long story in itself. But I end up not having the car, but I got car insurance for it. So I was like
Right.
panicking. I'm like, yo, I'm getting this car insurance and I don't have a car. So I quickly tried to get a car with my
Right.
parents. Like I was like to my parents, I'm like, yo, help me find a car ASAP. Because I don't want to spend like this money on the car insurance. And
Mm-hmm.
and the funny thing is, I based my car
Mm-hmm.
based on my insurance.
Oh.
Like how much I was gonna pay with insurance. I didn't lease it. I went and got a used car. It's my Mazda,
Yeah.
big up. Um, so I was like going like for a day or two searching for a car, right? I went on like the the automobile website trying to see what was the best thing. We went to this dealership close to our house.
Right.
It wasn't black owned, but the guy that was selling to us, he was black, so we're like, more lenient to like, yeah, let's talk and stuff. Um, he he was sweet talking everything, sales pitch. He's like, yeah, you should get this and it's gonna be lovely. You
Sweet
should
talk,
get
yeah.
this one. Yeah, right. He's like,
That's what I'm
as a
saying.
first car, you should get this, low on everything. So I ended up getting it. I will admit I got co-signed with my mom, but I already said that before. So I got the car. I know you didn't say your price, but mine was less than 10 grand, right?
Okay, that was a good price. I
So
never
I
want
was
to take my
like,
price, man.
less than 10 grand, but I financed, so I didn't pay outright, but I did put a deposit, so the
Yeah.
payments weren't that much. So two twos, um, I paid that off. I finished paying it officially
Right.
beginning of this year. So I only had car payments for about 3 years,
Right.
right? Um, but it was yeah, I still, the finance was over by
Right.
2019, but I still technically owed on it. So I just paid
Yeah.
my mom off until whatever. So, and that was lovely. What, 2018 that I got the car?
Right.
And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Was
The only
that's
thing,
your only car?
yeah, that's my only car.
Okay.
So I can't, like, I had like a first car, but I can't.
Right.
That story is bad. So I just
You're
stick
not
with,
going to one there.
nah. The only thing I wish I'd done was get a sunroof. I think I was
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah.
focused on getting the right payment for car insurance
Yeah.
because cars are not cheap,
True.
guys. So I was really determined on that. Even that's another story, car insurance, because
Yep.
my car insurance was not cheap. And I
I'm gonna tell you,
tried
we're gonna talk a little bit more about the difference between leasing and financing. But yeah, the
yeah.
insurance, just like you said, that was something it was crazy, but yet still I did it because when I got my car, I think I was paying about close to $500 a month. Yeah, because them telling me say, yo, like I'm under 25, I'm a G2 driver, I don't have no driving history, all that nonsense that they tell people.
Yeah. Wait,
Almost five
stop.
bills a month.
Wait. This is for your insurance.
Yeah, that was insurance alone. That's not
Oh
even
my
including car payment
gosh. And here I was
or
complaining about
maintenance.
you know what? Mine was like three something, almost 400.
Yeah,
I was pissed. Because I know
yeah.
people that are like, oh yeah, I pay 100 or 200. I'm like, yo, shut up. I don't want to hear you. I'm like, yo, you're so annoying. But car insurance is not a joke.
It
Literally.
is not.
It's literally, if you think about it, between paying car payments and car insurance,
Yeah,
we're not even talking about gas or maintenance or anything.
right.
You're depending on what type of car you have, you're running up like, let's say, $900 to $1,000 a month.
Yeah, that no,
Depending.
you're right. And then
So
maintenance. So
it's
like
it's it's not cheap, guys.
my bi-weekly payment, I believe was
Oh yeah, the bi-weekly
let's
payments.
yeah, I
Jeez.
had bi-weekly car payment. And I believe it was about trying to see, I think it was like close to 200. So there
Mm.
was like close to 200 in bi-weekly payment. So that's about 4 bills a month. Then there was like car payment.
Yep.
Sorry,
The
there was
insurance.
insurance.
Yeah.
Another five bills, so that's 900 already. Then I was paying for gas, which was another about 200 a month,
You live in
and then routine
Timbuktu.
maintenance. So I was paying over $1,000 a month to
Yikes.
operate my car.
So to anyone that is looking to get a car, huh, let me
Yeah.
tell you, honestly, before I had a vehicle, I thought I was kicking. I was like, "Whoa, look how much money I have!" Like enough money to like save like drastically, right?
Yeah.
Once these payments came into play, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, oh. So you really have to be mindful.
Oh
Like, do you
my
want
God.
to do this? So
Yeah.
then it comes to like, do you want to lease it? Do you want to finance it? Or do
Finance,
you want to
right.
just pay it outright? Because it depends on how much you've been saving and stuff. Like, have you ever had the experience or have you ever seen anyone have the experience of just buying it one time,
No,
cash?
no. And well, I've seen that, but it's usually for used car that are like 5 grand
Hmm.
thereabout. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I've never seen it
yeah,
for a brand new car.
true.
But I mean, the good thing, I'm well, not good thing, but I think some of the things you avoid when you buy it outright is that you don't have to worry about interest. You don't have to worry about all
Hmm.
the restrictions that comes through the dealership and stuff like that, right?
True.
So I think
And the
yeah,
hidden fees.
and the hidden fees.
Oh,
Yep, lots of hidden fees when it comes to
yeah.
buying cars.
If I show you guys my freaking thing, because I still have the contract, right? I
Yeah,
was pissed because there was like $500. Listen, the thing was at like 8,000, right?
right.
And then all of a sudden it was like just a little bit below 10. I was like, okay, okay. Where did all these things come? And I'm not even saying like HST, obviously, but no, they had some hidden fees. They're like, oh yeah, if we do this for you. I'm like,
Yeah.
this was after we said yes. And I'm like, all right, bet, bet. I was like, okay, next time I'm not doing this.
Yeah, right? I know. Like if I had to go back down that road, because the other thing is like a lot of people don't consider depreciation, right? Like when buying cars.
Yes.
So if you buy a
Mm.
brand new car, you're gonna pay for that depreciation,
Yep.
right?
And what's the depreciation?
It's about 20%, I believe, of the
So
value of the car that you're losing like almost right away.
as soon as you touch the pedal to go and it comes off the driveway of that store, 20% is gone.
Exactly.
So like, I mean, if you have that type of money, by all means, do it. But be
Good. Yeah.
mindful that it's it's not really an asset in a
Mhm.
sense because the value is depreciated 20% as soon as
20%.
you
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It's a
oh
depreciating
shoot,
asset. It's
right?
losing value, right?
So it's madness. It's
Yeah.
madness. And what's another thing? So okay, so with that leasing, would you rather lease or finance now?
Good question. For me, like I said, I wouldn't go the leasing route again. So definitely would probably finance
Mm,
low interest rate if or just buy it cash. Like if I can afford to buy it cash, I'll probably just buy
yeah.
it cash. But I'm not going the leasing route again. No.
Saying Andre's
It's too
gonna
many.
just do like an option plan and then just do boom,
Exactly. Just do some option play with that stuff. Get
right?
all from cash, and then I'm like, yo,
And that's another way if you want to do it that way, so you won't even have to worry about things. And I was gonna ask you a question, but what about if someone was leasing it for a business? Do you think
that's a
it's
good
better?
point. Yeah, generally speaking, for business, it can be more beneficial because you can write off the entire leasing cost of
Hmm.
the vehicle versus if you actually owned it,
Yes.
you'd be limited to CCA, right? And CCA rules would apply. So by leasing, you get to avoid all those
Hmm.
CCA rules. And for those who don't know what CCA is, it's capital cost allowance. So
What, professor?
I, Professor, I'm not saying this surgery.
Professor J.
Yeah, so it's the CRA's version of depreciation. So the reason why CRA had to set like their own depreciation is because depreciation is more of a corporate concept. So you'll have that corporations will have similar asset and they
Yeah.
all have a different depreciation rate. So
And
to
different
avoid that,
classes.
CRA came up with their own standardized rate for these classes of asset, and they call them CCA, to standardize the process.
Okay. So for the folks that have a business, you may want to lease or finance, because also you, even if you have a car, you can claim some of the auto expenses as well. Especially
Right.
that big expensive insurance.
Yeah, you definitely want to write off those expenses for sure.
Right?
So
Like
they can be set up.
that.
So
Mm-hmm.
in terms of I was just like reviewing here at like some of the key points, and we're just gonna touch on the key points related to buying versus leasing.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to lead the conversation on that, or you want me to lead it.
Hold on a second. I just don't want to hear any more sounds. When I hear Outlook sounds, I'm like, no. But yes. Oh man. Hold on. There. So which one do you want to do? You want to say the advantage of buying and me say the advantage of leasing? Either or?
Well, I think we
Or yeah,
they're
because we did talk about leasing mostly. So let's
so we
talk
can just
about.
do the summer, like the key points here. Like for example, they say, like if you're key points to consider is like if you're buying the vehicle, then you are saying you want ownership, right? So you'll be the owner. Versus
Yes,
if you lease the vehicle, you don't own it. You're renting
that's true.
the vehicle, right, from the dealer or the bank or whoever you're leasing the vehicle from, right?
And then
Um,
also the upfront cost.
yeah, exactly. High upfront costs, right? Because remember, you're
Yeah.
renting, so they may ask for first and last if you're leasing, right?
Yeah.
So that's like you're renting a property,
Oh,
you know?
that's true. Because like in a sense, like I said, I did a down payment. So my down payment may be, pardon me, my down payment may be less than if you were to do
Yeah.
your first and last. Ooh, I don't know, guys. I think financing is better.
I know, right? And yeah,
but we are not telling you guys what to do. We're just giving you
the
the objectives,
information,
right?
make a decision. So this
Yeah,
is for
exactly.
education purpose only, not advice.
Exactly.
So the other thing about upfront in terms of buying is that you'll be faced with you'd have to make a down payment. Probably gonna, well, not probably gonna have to pay the taxes, registration fees, and other fees. The thing about
Yeah.
leasing is that even though you're not paying tax upfront, if you decide, so there, I believe there's a monthly interest on the lease payment, right? The other thing is that when you're
Oh, there
ready
is, yes.
to, if you want to buy out the car at the end, that would be considered as a purchase, right?
Yeah.
So that would be considered as a purchase. So let's say in my scenario, when I walked into the dealership, I got a beneficial rate of 0.99, right? At the end of the 4 year, I decided that I wanted to buy my vehicle outright.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, buy it outright, but I was using a loan from the bank. What I didn't know is that because that is now considered, I'm now considered to be switching from leasing to financing, that's considered a new purchase. So I had to pay taxes on that purchase. But here's the other thing.
Yeah.
The banks, they consider that a used car, so they give it a used car rate, which was about 6 or 7%. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're going to refinance the vehicle, that it will be seen as a purchase and you're going to get used cost rate.
Wow.
Exactly. Lots of tricks and things out there where you have to be mindful of.
Right?
Lease payments are generally lower.
They are.
They're lower than if you
Well,
finance, right?
depending on which car you get.
Yeah,
Because,
true.
yeah, because you said bi-weekly, yours was that much, and mine was about a little bit lower. But my car is older than your car.
Right.
2012.
Yeah. So if it has a lower value, then yeah, my car will cost almost 3 times your car. So that's why my lease payment was higher.
Exactly.
Um,
What else?
so yeah, but because the leases, you're saying okay, there's gonna be this end of lease outstanding balance that is not included in the upfront payment, whereas finance, all of those
Mhm.
upfront payments are included, so that
There.
makes the financing a bit more expensive.
Yes. Also, I don't think we mentioned with financing, there
Yeah.
is an interest cost as well.
Yes.
Sometimes they have this zero financing deal to catch people, to lurk
Yeah.
them in. But I've heard that there's hidden fees with that as well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
beware.
100%. Just make sure you're reading all the fine print. See, if you
Exactly.
have to take the contract and come back the next day, then do
Mm-hmm.
that. Don't just go ahead and make a hasty decision while you're in
Oh,
the store because you want to say, yo, we walk in at the store, I'm gonna drive out the same time.
yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. And they'll sweet talk you. They'll finesse you just to, get that sale. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
they want that sale
they
and
love to
stuff.
sweet talk. The
Hmm.
other thing is early termination. So if you buy the vehicle, you can
Yeah.
terminate pretty much anytime because you can
Exactly.
sell it without permission from the dealership or anything. But if
Can't
you're
tell them
leasing,
nothing.
of course, the car belongs to the dealer. So remember, we
Mm-hmm.
talk about negative equity. So you might be
Yes.
faced with some negative equity for breaking the contract early.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. And then vehicle return. I guess that's the same concept.
Yeah, vehicle return, same thing. So you're responsible for selling your car if you bought it
Mm-hmm.
or determine what happens next. If
Yeah.
you lease it, you can return it at the end of the lease life, which you can, set to be 3 or 4 years or whatever the case is.
Yeah. And here's the one that I love the most. I'm gonna skip
Yeah,
the future value. Mileage.
mileage. I
No one can tell me how much I
love
can
mileage.
drive my car. Like, what? I find it when I heard about leasing and it was like, oh, you can only drive this much. I'm like, what? I'm limited. I think there's something about being told what not to do.
When you hear that, it makes
That
you want to do it,
really,
eh?
yeah. So like, I don't want to have limitation, even though I don't drive as often as you do.
Yeah,
But still, like, what if there's a time where I'm like, I feel like going to the States with my car and stuff. Then I want to do that, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the with the
I
leasing
love
limit,
drive.
leasing limit is about
20, yeah.
this is yeah, 20
Yeah,
to
it was about 20,000.
25K
Yeah,
kilometers, sorry, per year. And the
right.
future value, the future value for a vehicle that you bought, it depreciates. So
Depreciate. Yep.
whatever cash value you can get when you sell it,
Yeah.
it's up to you. You just got to
Yep.
maintain it properly, right?
Just mention it. Yep.
Yeah.
And
And then
the
what
other
about
thing is the wear and tear. So they actually have a wear and tear. You can face fees for excessive wear and tear. So you have to bring in the car for constant inspection,
mm-hmm.
right? And if they determine that there's any excessive wear and tear, then you could be on the hooks
Damn.
for those excessive wear and tear.
See, I couldn't do it. Me personally, the way I drive and like to, I have people like to call me lead foot.
They call it what?
Lead foot. The way I just like to. I like to drive. You know, when the music's pumping and you feel like nice, you just want to drive a little faster. That's me.
Yeah.
Oh shucks. And what else is there? Yes, the wear and tear and the end of the term.
Yeah. What's the
Ooh,
other one?
customizing. That's a good one.
Yep. You can't
Uh,
customize leasing.
e-
It's not
e-
yours. You have to remember it's
exactly.
not yours.
So all those people that love to soup up their car and things
Yeah.
can't do it while leasing. What's the benefits? I'll go back to asking about like the business. What's the benefits of what you call it? Having a car and having a business? Like buying a car. Like what if you were to finance
From
it?
a business perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess I would probably say you're not like like from a business, like if you were to leasing, so you again you can write off the leasing costs, and
Mm-hmm.
then the other thing is that you're not faced with that those hefty maintenance, right? Because as the
Yes.
vehicle starts to depreciate, you're gonna be faced with more frequent maintenance, right? So
Yeah.
um, I guess from a business perspective, then you don't have those frequent maintenance. And then I mean, you don't have to worry about like calculating depreciation and all those complexities and whatever. So actually I think for the most part it might simplify accounting,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're like a public company and you have to like follow like standards for determining whether or not it's a finance lease versus what's the other lease? Regular lease versus finance lease, I believe. Don't
Yeah.
remember what the options are, but yeah, I would say I think leasing is might be a better option.
Okay.
Yeah. What
And
do you think?
remember, folks. I for business sakes, um, you might be right. The leasing aspect might be ideal. It
Yeah,
might be
no, I mean,
more for
don't quote
business,
me.
for a
Yeah, for
business
business. Yeah, yeah.
aspect, yeah. But for personal, I don't know. Financing sounds nice to me.
Yeah, for personal financing, I would probably say might be a better option when it comes to you know, if it's personal use financing. I think
Exactly.
would be better. Yeah,
Hmm. And then also buying it outright. I mean, if you have the money, by all means, do
yeah,
it. But
yeah.
if you don't have the
And
Benz money, don't do it.
then they'll go fit. And I would recommend buying a used. Like personally, if I were to buy another, if I have a ton of money and it's not an issue for me, then
Mm,
I'll just buy a car without any consideration. But if it is that like you don't have a ton of money, I would
mm,
recommend buying a used car, like a slightly used car, because it means that that person already paid for the depreciation,
yes,
right? So
pre-owned,
now pre-owned,
like
yes,
a
that's what they call
pre-owned
it.
is a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah.
Exactly. So that would be my suggestion. Again, it's not advice. That's just something I would do, like if I were gonna make a purchase again. But again, like I mean, this is a things I wish I know about money podcast. Make sure you
Exactly.
do up your budget. Make sure you
Mm-hmm.
forecast.
See, you
Make sure
read
you
my
plan
mind.
properly before buying your vehicle because there's a lot of hidden costs that comes with it. If
Mm-hmm.
a car can actually cost you between 12 and 30,000 per year to maintain, depending on the amount of costs and insurance and all of that stuff that
Oh,
exists. So you want to be mindful of that.
right.
Yeah.
And just like you posted, Flip and Floss was posting, can you afford your dream car? The one is you must be able to pay at least 20% down
Yeah.
payment. You can finance for at least 4 years. And the car cannot exceed 10% of your monthly income.
Exactly.
So those
Yeah. No. Yeah. Go ahead. And
so
for
those
me,
people, yes. Those people that want Bentley, Rolls Royce, and
the
Beamer
same.
and Benz, you gotta make sure that those aspects are clear and have a budget correctly, right? And
Yeah.
everything. What do you want to
100%.
say
No,
last?
I was gonna say, like for me, I paid off my car quickly. So because I'm aware of interest rate as well, right? So even though I
Mm-hmm.
had like this 5 or whatever year, I try to pay it off as quickly as I possibly can so that I save that interest rate, right? So that's
Yes.
another thing you want to be mindful of as well.
So here's a tip. Here's a fast tip because that's what I did. I gave it a 5 year for finance, 5 year
Right.
span, but I paid it in 3 years. So you save. So and also the
Good
monthly
point.
payments are less because
Yeah.
you're stretching it out. So just
Yeah.
double up. It's like doing OSAP. Double up, pay it off, and boom, you'll be
Yeah.
happy in the end of the road, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, and so yeah, that's a good suggestion. Like I think that was the same thing I did, like a longer period, but then I doubled up just like you said. I paid, and it also helped because not what if the time comes when you actually don't have the money, right, to make a payment. You won't be stuck with a hefty monthly payment that you can't afford.
Right?
Yeah.
But always try to, and I'm only saying this because there's been incidents. Try to take care of your car as much as possible because you don't want those maintenance bills ever so often and
Yeah.
just kicking you sideways.
100%. Good
Right?
suggestion. Definitely, I completely agree with that. Yeah, and so I mean, those are the option is either you buy outright, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna finance it, or you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna lease it,
Lease it.
right? But it
Those
doesn't
things
matter
you do.
which option or which route you take, just make sure that you are ready to own a
Yes.
car, right?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
make sure that you're ready. So don't get a car because all your friends have a car. You know what I mean?
Especially the nice ones, right? Make
Exactly.
you it's okay getting a used car for your first car. Build up, the momentum. I,
Yeah.
I don't I don't care. One of these days I'm gonna have a Benz, whether it's old or new. So
Yeah.
that's all I say. But once I have that money, right?
Once you have that money.
And I think we're gonna wrap it up just now because we could talk about this for days, but we're definitely going to discuss about this again, especially with car insurance and different expenses.
Yeah,
Because
and maybe it's a good opportunity to bring on people to share their experience about so we can have a part two to this.
so whoever wants
Yeah.
to come on and talk about their experience with their cars, please message me or Dre. We are lonely these days. Y'all don't message us no more.
I know.
Oh man, I'm joking. I'm joking. You guys message. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we've been getting a few messages. Yeah,
Mm.
but like just like Camille said, reach out, like, subscribe, share, follow us. Give your feedback.
Mm-hmm.
If there are any suggested topics that you
By
want
all
us to
means.
discuss, let us know. If we need to bring in the experts, we will bring in the experts. But this is where it's happening at the things I wish I knew about money. And on that note, I'm going to turn it over to our lovely host to take it to the next level.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dre. Thank you, Dre. I'm glad that we're able to share our experiences. And like we said, we want to hear your experiences. Hit us up on IG, hit us up on YouTube, or anywhere that you see us, okay? And on that note, let
All
me just
right.
do the outro because we
Peace
want
out.
to enjoy the weather,
Yeah, man. Summertime.
right? Hey.
I think I'm gonna have a real bad back problem when I get old because I can't sit down and chair properly.